Outdoors Delmarva covers everything outdoors,
including real hunting and fishing situations involving wildlife.
We do our best each and every week to keep it tasteful, but discretion is advised.
Now, enjoy the show.
This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru, delivering an experience.
This week on the show, it's a special event taking place on Assateague, when these disabled sportsmen enjoy the hunt of a lifetime.
Okay, we'll send some people down there.
We've got the best seat in the house as we patrol the area for Sika deer success. Then they're a driving force of Delmarva culture, and we'll get to know them and their stories at the Winter Waterman's Festival. Plus, it's striper season, and we've got some viewer venture cam video as the results are in from one of the area's premier tournaments.
Right now on Outdoors Delmarva.
We got one on right now.
Get him, get him. They're sort of Mother Nature's F-16.
That's a lot of pristine ocean beach.
This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. And now, here's Mike Parker.
Thanks for watching Outdoors Delmarva. I'm Mike Parker. We'll be checking in with my partner, Captain Willie Dykes, in just a few minutes. Well, starting the show off this week here at Assateague Island National Seashore, where a very special event is taking place. Yeah, it's an archery hunt for disabled sportsmen, most of whom which will be using crossbows to harvest both Sika deer and white-tailed deer, and they'll be getting special access to the grounds here at Assateague. Well, this is an event that's grown in popularity over the past few years, and when Head Ranger Ted Moorlock invited me out, well, he gave me the best seat in the house.
We've had plenty of early mornings on the shores of Assateague Island National Seashore.
What are you hoping for?
Anything really, we're all good eating.
But from the start, there was something special about this morning.
It's just a really, really rewarding thing. In my 20 plus years as a ranger, I'd have to say it's just about the most rewarding thing I've been involved in.
We see some things from a unique perspective.
As Captain Willie has shown us before from Chopper 16, Assateague is long, but this barrier island is not very wide, so there's only so much wilderness into which even fully abled hunters can venture before hitting marsh or beach. And for this morning's hunt, well, this group of hunters, many in wheelchairs or vehicles, will be hunting close to the roads, mostly in and around the campground area.
When I got here, I saw that this was a perfect setup with some of the sidewalks and paved areas and just nice open areas for a hunt.
But as we'll soon find out, it's also home to the island's overgrown population of Sikas and whitetails, just like the ones we see hanging out on the opposite side of the road from where the hunt is taking place. But while somewhat accustomed to people, these are still very wild deer, and hunters will still need to be on high alert to spot a less brazen Sika sneaking along the edge of the trees. And if a hunter does take a shot, well, help is just a radio call away.
10-4, I'll meet him there.
And we've got it. Just an hour into the morning, we're headed to blind number 12, a wide open spot in a parking lot at the marshy edge of the campground. And hunter Harold Bogartis is pumped up.
Thank you, Jesus.
He points out a clear blood trail in the area where he fired a bolt at a passing Sika deer female known as a hind just a few minutes before. Now, any deer can be tough to track, but Sikas are notorious for a disappearing blood trail. Hot and heavy at the site of impact, but quickly trailing off to nothing within a few yards. In the early going of the search, we're wishing one of the passing famous ponies could offer us even a hint as to where to look.
Seen Ted in the blind, one deer down, got one hind, blind 12.
Luckily for us, this trail isn't lost for long, and thanks to Harold's excellent shot, this average-sized Sika has come to rest in the tall marsh grass about 35 yards away from the parking lot.
10-4. See any good? Do any good this morning? 16.
Back in the truck, a few more patrols of the area indicate that some hunters are seeing deer move, but were unable to get a shot, and they'll have to be patient.
Yeah, I've been here behind the boneyard.
But not for long, when our second call comes in, and this time it's hunter Bob Ford, who's already out of his blind, directing us to his prize, a mature Sika stag taken with a clean shot. resting in this wooded patch just a few dozen yards from the main road.
I was here 3 years ago for the hunt and had a great time. Didn't get one. This is my first sika deer. It's great to get to go out with the other guys that has handicaps, and everybody treats you great on this hunt here. It's a really good experience.
To a lot of my guys, it's dear to them because they feel that if they were in that situation, they'd like to still be able to hunt if the opportunity presented itself.
As volunteers of the National Wild Turkey Federation gather the stag and deliver it to the ranger station, only a few more minutes pass before we're back in the woods a little further south on the island, on the trail of deer number 3. According to hunter Scott Ward, whose spinal cord injury keeps his hunting confined to the front seat of his van, it was an opportune crossbow strike on a whitetail doe.
Deer came out on one of these walking trails, and it went behind that sign and behind these bushes. And when it came out the left side of the bush, I moved myself into position, and as soon as it cleared the bushes, I shot at it. My friend went out and looked to see where it went, and then it spooked up and ran again.
As the search continues for the whitetail, Ranger Morlock gets word of another successful hunter not far away. And as we hone in on the location, it's a familiar spot. While there are more than a dozen sportsmen scattered throughout the campground today, overall deer number 4 is now personal deer number 2 for Bob Ford.
We got a machine gun there?
Who may have got a second chance at one of the hinds he'd seen earlier traveling with his mature stag.
I believe it is one of them.
Well, it's 11:15 so far. We've taken 3 sika and 1 whitetail, so it's been a real good morning.
For the hunters and organizers, it's mutual success. Another step towards managing this sustainable deer herd on the shores of Assateague. And as these proud sportsmen break to gather for a quick lunch back at the ranger station, it's a chance to reflect on a successful outing. Well organized and well deserved, in a setting many of these hunters are fully able to appreciate.
Looking forward to future years. Folks, come on out and join us. We could sure use some more hunters. Get outdoors, Delmarva.
Get outdoors, Delmarva!
Still to come on Outdoors Delmarva. We've seen the hunt, now we'll discover the science of wildlife management. We'll head back to Assateague to see how each deer plays a role. And coming up next, we'll meet the men and women who've shaped Eastern Shore culture by making their living out on the water. But first, did you know? While hunting is popular, the main attraction at Assateague Island National Seashore is the pony population. How many wild horses currently make up the herd in the Maryland side of the park? The answer when we come back.
This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru, delivering an experience. Sponsored by Ocean City Tourism, Shorts Marine, and Shooter's Choice. Outdoors Delmarva will be right back.
Yeah, they keep us busy, but that's what people come here for. People love these horses.
Did you know? According to the National Park Service, as of January, there are 114 wild horses in Assateague's Wild Maryland herd.
Did You Know is sponsored by North Bay Marina.
Thanks for watching Outdoors Delmarva. I'm Captain Willie Dykes. Like the rotary telephone, the telegraph, or vinyl record albums, some say the way of life for watermen working the Chesapeake Bay is quickly disappearing. However, we're lucky enough to have people on Delmarva who are committed to keeping our valued traditions alive.
Beautiful, look.
A special event in Pocomoke City gave us a perfect opportunity to discover a real local treasure for ourselves. The Delmarva Discovery Center is located on the Pocomoke River, right at the base of the drawbridge in town. The Winter Waterman's Festival was the cause of all the excitement, and its goal was to give us a close look at a colorful way of life. Volunteer Dorothy Garrett gave us a quick overview.
Well, the importance of the Waterman's Festival is so that people in this area who are not familiar with what watermen do can get an opportunity to talk directly with the watermen and taste the seafood from the Bay Area and have a one-on-one experience with the watermen.
Here's what you start with.
Waterman Grant Corbin from Deal Island was making a crab pot from scratch.
My cutter's not too much.
Explaining how each part is made and what function it performs.
But a crab usually always goes up. Then they go through these holes upstairs. We call it upstairs. Once a crab gets up here, you pretty well got him.
You could try your strength with a pair of hand tongs.
Keep them separated and start working until he gets some in the tongs. And he'll do that for a whole day. And if you do it one time, you'll see how difficult it is.
I ain't no speedster. I'm glad I ain't got to make a living at it. You can do it. I can get into it.
And you could taste the fruit of all that labor shucked out right before your eyes. You oyster fanciers, take a look at that one on the right.
Excellent.
And that's just the beginning. There was the crab soup, the crab dip, the cornbread, chicken of course, and then the desserts. Bay Country art of all kinds is highlighted, including these reproductions of the many styles of working craft used in the waterman's trade.
Is everybody here? Just go around the table and let them introduce themselves.
The main attraction, of course, was the chance to hear about a waterman's life from the source.
Wintertime, I oyster dredge, power dredge, pat and tongue.
I'm Eddie Brimer. I crab pot in the summertime, shed soft crabs.
And to get the real story from a waterman's wife.
You all get to hear what the watermen say, but when they're done, you're going to hear what a waterman's wife has to say. And I think I'm going to be more interested than them.
Center staffer Jennifer Rafter explains the main attraction.
It's a way of life that many people aren't familiar with, and it's also something that may not be around too much longer. So we're glad to have them here today.
The center's permanent attractions are awesome as well. Now, this is the only way that most of us see an alligator gar, so it's a rare treat to see live specimens of Pocomoke River denizens like the gar and the rare Atlantic sturgeon in the 6,000-gallon aquarium they share with catfish, bluegills, and largemouth bass. Another amphibious icon of local waters, the diamondback terrapin, is ready to go nose to nose with visitors.
There's just something about a morning when all that soft crab shed and nighttime brings a peaceful sleep, 'cause after fishing up, we're nearly dead.
The Waterman's Festival was a reminder that our Delmarva has tastes and sounds and traditions that make it a very special place to live. But it's the people that make it truly unique.
Yeah, I'll fix you Smith Island cakes, Smith Island crab cakes, whatever you want.
That was very good.
Coming up next on Outdoors Delmarva, we're headed back to Assateague, where the hunt may be over, but the science is just beginning.
Jim, is tagged? Tagged, right?
This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru, delivering an experience. You're watching Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru, delivering an experience. Here's Mike Parker.
Well, we had such a great time over at Assateague National Seashore earlier in the show, really inspired by those disabled sportsmen still able to get out there and enjoy their sport. But you know, once those sika and whitetails are harvested, well, that's really only the beginning. Next, the field science starts. So we spent some time with those Assateague Rangers to find out why it's so important.
We want to get a feel for what the age of the deer are on the island, and also sexing to see ratio of male to females as well.
Okay, so we have our initial answer. And when it comes down to maintaining a healthy sika and whitetail deer population on Assateague, we learned some tricks of the trade. You might be surprised to learn that dentistry plays a major role.
It weighed in 22 pounds. Right now, we're going to try to determine its sex and also how old it is. One of the things that we try to do with the sex is if it has visible antlers. If it does, it would be a male. This one does not at this time. Then you would look on top of the head for any base of the shed antlers. I don't see any at this time. So you want to feel on top for any buttons or unrubbed antlers under the skin. Right now I don't feel any, so with that being a no, I continue to the next question. Is this over 35 pounds? This deer is only 22. So the next one is to look to see if it has more than 5 molars. If it's a yes, most likely this is a female. If it does not, we're gonna list it as an unknown. But at the same time, I'll also try to age the deer based off its teeth that it has in its mouth with the molars, such as half year, 1.5 years, and up to 2.5 years. Each one I'm looking for a specific set of teeth. Looking for the first tooth, which I have. I'm looking for my second tooth. I have 2. Now the third tooth right now, I'm looking for 3 crests on the top of the tooth. I have 1, 2, 3, which means I then go to the 4th tooth. I have a 4th tooth. I have 2. I have nothing beyond that tooth. And judging from my chart here, this deer would age out at approximately half-year-old. And so right now we're gonna call this unknown as far as the sex, but it's gonna be about a half-year-old.
Now, when it comes to Sika deer especially, although they've become a beloved permanent resident on Assateague, they are an introduced species and require some special attention. Armed with the results of this data, Assateague's rangers will be in a much better position to judge the island's deer herd in the future, keeping it manageable, healthy, and harvestable for future hunts.
And now, it's time to check in with an old friend. Here's this week's Scorchy's Corner Classic.
You might call him Keeper of the Cans.
A few years back, I seen these canvasbacks out here, and I baited them to the shore every year.
81-year-old George Dreyer lives on a little bluff overlooking the Wicomico River at Mount Vernon. Once an avid duck hunter, he's now an avid duck protector.
And now I've gotten so I can't shoot very good, so I'm feeding these ducks and just to look at.
The duck he speaks about is the famed canvasback.
When they see me throwing the corn out, man, they've come flying in. They fly from out there.
So you throw the corn and you go what? What do you say?
That's the way I call them.
What does that mean?
I don't know what it means to them. They're headed in.
And that means absolute joy to George Dreyer, custodian of the canvasback. Scorchy Taws wandering our Delmarvelous land for WBOC News.
Still to come on Outdoors Delmarva. Impressed with the action on Assateague? We'll help you choose the crossbow that's right for you.
This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru, delivering an experience. You're watching Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru, delivering an experience.
Thanks for watching Outdoors Delmarva. I'm Mike Parker, back here this week at Shorts Archery, a division of Shorts Marine here in the beautiful Millsboro and Long Neck, Delaware areas. And joining us once again is our friend Kelly Rotz. Hey Kelly, how you doing?
Hey Mike.
Here to talk about one of the emerging and boy, fast growing segments of the archery market. Fun to look at, fun to shoot, and we're talking about crossbows.
Not only fun, but boy, this is an efficient hunting tool right here. With an aging demographic, a lot of guys have shoulder issues. They just can't handle the regular bow anymore. This has been the tool of choice. In the old days, Mike, when crossbows first came out, it was basically for a gorilla. You bent over, grabbed the whole of that 180 pounds, pulled it back. The proper way to cock a crossbow is with a cocking aid so that you pull it back square. This 180-pound bow reduces down to 5 pounds of weight. I simply put the handle into the winch, and with 2 fingers, I've reduced it from 185 pounds down to 5 pounds. Rope cocking method, the ropes take 50% of the weight, and I can literally pull with 2 fingers and cock the bow.
Kelly, you have got to show me this. We're talking some brand new technology, not your average crossbow.
No, this is a fully pneumatic crossbow. It has a CO2 cartridge. For somebody who doesn't have the ability to cock the bow, all you do is push the button and it cocks itself.
That is awesome.
As a pro shop, we pick what we think is the finest in the industry's 10-point premier brand. It is the Mercedes-Benz of crossbows.
So I might as well see what I can do with that Bruin up there in the upper right-hand corner. I'll aim for his head.
Right in the head.
Not an ethical shot, but fun for the target range. All right, once again, Kelly Ross, thanks a lot. It has been a pleasure. Definitely learned a lot about crossbows.
Thank you.
All right, well, if you're looking to try something new, maximize your time out in the field, or a crossbow from Shorts Archery, a division of Shorts Marine, this might be the perfect fit. We'll be right back.
Coming up next on Outdoors Delmarva, your viewer pictures.
Outdoors Delmarva viewer pictures are sponsored by Shorts Marine. This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru, delivering an experience. Sponsored by Ocean City Tourism, Shorts Marine, and Shooter's Choice.
It's time now to take a look at some of the videos and pictures sent in by our own Outdoors Delmarva viewers.
And we begin with some viewer venture cam video that's long overdue, but we couldn't ignore. Dozens of anglers take part in the Bill's Sport Shop Striper Tournament each year between late October and early December. And after all the fish are caught, Bill Sr. and Jr. hand out the awards over at Irish Eyes Restaurant in Lewis.
Evan Falkowski, the winner of the Striper Tournament, first place, $1,500.
Great event. We're looking forward to more next year. Thanks to Ellen White for taking the video and passing it along. On to the pictures now. 12-year-old AJ Bordeaux of Ocean Pines went on his first ever waterfowl hunt at the beginning of the month. He was hunting with a group from the United Church of Christ in Cambridge when he downed these Canada geese. Mike Andrews from Dover came up lucky with a banded mallard hen while hunting the Ted Harvey Wildlife Area near Kitts Hummock. Finding a band is an extra means of bragging rights for waterfowlers and always a thrill. Matt Walls from Bethany Beach must be longing for summer. He says he snapped this picture of a shorebird earlier this year out on the beach, but just thought of it now to send it into the show. Well, we're glad he did. And Joey Melvin of Milford is a friend of the show and takes some great shots when he's out and about. Check out this pair of black ducks taking off from the water. Beautiful stuff.
All right, well, we hope you enjoyed watching the show as much as we enjoyed putting it together. We'll have plenty of more new adventures coming up next week. Until then, for my partner, Captain Willie Dykes, I'm Mike Parker, reminding you to get outdoors, Delmarva.